How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James coming at you guys with another lightsaber review. This time we have a fun one here from the video game Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the Crossguard Saber, where we got access to a new heavy stance in the video game. And ever since I saw that, I was looking forward to the day that I got to review the crossguard version of the hilt, and here it is in my hands, and this thing has been a ton of fun to play with. Now this one here is done by Ultimate Works, which I'll have two links in the video description down below. The first one is leading through the pack store, which is where I tend to get my Ultimate Works sabers from, and the other one is going to be directly linked to the Ultimate Works' website, so you have your couple options there, just in case if one of the options weren't available, you might find it on the other site as well. Now, of course, with any and all Ultimate Works lightsabers, you tend to have different options. For those of you who are familiar with the company, you already know what those options are, but for those of you who are unfamiliar with the company and how these selections work when you're making your purchase, let's say you are a new customer and you're buying your very first lightsaber. Obviously, you're going to want to get a fully installed one with a blade, whether it's the Profi option or the Asteria Hearts. And let's say later on down the road, maybe a few months, maybe a year later, you wanted to buy another lightsaber because you were happy with your first one. Well, rather than fork over all that extra money to get another fully installed hilt, you can opt in for their pre-kit option, and which means that you can take your chassis from that very first saber that you bought and pop it into your new one, which is essentially what I've done here, except obviously this isn't my first or second. I have quite a few already, just not to, just don't tell anyone. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a closer look, because I'm sure you guys have some questions and you want to see it a lot better. So let's go ahead and start from the emitter section. As you can see, a very nice, shiny, clean finish. And yes, trust me, I'm going to say the words, I can't wait to eventually get this weathered up, because, I just like my sabers weathered. If I get this weathered, I think I'd probably go with the light weathering on it. But that's just kind of my personal opinion. Maybe medium, or maybe a lightish medium. Pretty sure that is a thing somewhere. And then there is the included blade plug. Now to kind of touch up on the emitters here really quick is, yes, these do indeed fold down. And these are pretty sturdy and rugged. So if you're curious about if you're swinging these, is this going to constantly fold back up? Is it sturdy enough? And the answer is yes, they are fully sturdy. So you can have it pretty much outwards like that. Or if you wanted to do the pitchfork type method, and then you could have it locked like that. Now the other main question you might be wondering is, okay, well, since I got this as a pre-kit, do you still get the side blades with it, or how does that work? And yes, you do get, of course, the side blades. Regardless if it's a fully installed or pre-kit, these side blades are fully included, which as you can see are ready to go. And the way this works, if you were curious, is you're going to take your side blade, and you're not just going to like bring it up like this, because it's not going to fit like that. What you're going to do is that you're going to take the side blades, go from the edge here, and slide it down. And then from there, no tools needed. All you need to do is to screw this on until they are secured. You're going to have like a little snuggle fit there. And now you're all set. Same thing on the other one. You're just going to go ahead and take the blade, slide it from the edge here down, and screw it on. That's it. The only tool that you're going to need is, of course, the hex tool to go ahead and insert your blade. That's pretty much all. But like I said, these lock perfectly fine, and I've had no issues with the side blades. As far as the hilt goes, the retention screw, there are two of them. And this is a 2-button activation. So you have one button here, which is this round bit right here. And the other one is exactly the same. So obviously it's going to get confusing in terms of what button does what, but if you want a point of reference, just look for the ones where the retention screw is. So meaning that if this is your activation, then you know where it is because of the retention screws, or vice versa. So that's one way to tell. Now if you need access to your chassis, you're just going to go ahead and unscrew this section here and get access to your chassis just like that. As I mentioned, I am using the Proppy Hearts chassis with this hilt. And to line it back up, you're just going to go ahead and see where all these edges here, like this section here. And pretty much line it up like so. And you are good to go. And then you screw this back on. Simple. Indeed. Now, as far as the hilt goes, it is not really that heavy. There's a little bit of weight to it. I wouldn't say it's heavy or super light. I would say it's like a medium-ish in terms of weight goes. And as far as comfort goes, this is very comfortable, especially, of course, you're doing it properly by having both hands onto the hilt as you do those heavy swings, which you'll see me do in just a few minutes, of course. Definitely feels great in the hands and definitely didn't have any issues whatsoever. But I know you guys are probably tired of me talking. After all, this is a review. So let's just cut to the chase and let's go ahead and take this outside and take it for a swing.
Green Crossguard. White Crossguard. Yellow Crossguard. Cyan Crossguard. Orange Crossguard.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that bit on the outside, as I had fun swinging the saber around, seeing as I had to record it twice because the first time I didn't have audio. User mistake. But on the positive, while doing some extensive, of course, swinging on the outside, I was putting the saber through a stress test like I do with any saber that I get, because obviously a lot of people have different uses for the sabers, whether it's just a personal thing to have on the shelf to look pretty, or maybe people want to actually play with the sabers and go out swinging. And I always look for those little gripes, is there any sharp edges to be careful about? Do parts come loose while swinging it crazily and things like that? Those are always things I look forward to in these reviews, and I'm happy to report that while swinging this with quite heavily, mind you, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. First off, it was extremely comfortable. There was no sharp edges whatsoever. Along with that, there was no part that seemed to get loose. The side blades, regardless of how I had them, stayed where they were going to be, whether it's the Triton formation or off to the side, stayed firmly in place without any issues or hiccups whatsoever, which is great. Now, I do want to go ahead and kind of do this because we were outside and there's background noises and cars and whatnot. I wanted to give you guys a chance to listen to the audio while we're indoors so you have an idea. Because you have to remember that the chassis is pretty much right here on this upper section, which means that there is all this extra space here, and you might be curious, where's the sound coming from? Well, to kind of give you a closer look once again, as you can see in the center, mind you, the speaker is about right here. There's no sound ventilation right here in the center, which means that the sound has to travel down all the way through this empty space here, down to the end of the hilts. Now, personally, I don't really have any issues with the sound, but you guys can be the judge for yourself, because I feel like having that extra space there adds a little bit of extra bass to it. Now, I also want to to let you know that I am actually using Saber Fonts by Kyberphonic, which is his Survivor 2 care package for this, which is all related to the Crossguard Saber fonts from the video game, just so you are aware. So let's go ahead and activate. I'm just going to cycle through maybe 2 or 3, and then I'll also disconnect it from the center so you could hear without this extra piece here.
Green Crossguard.
And then we'll do a couple more.
Yellow Crossguard.
And here is how this is going to sound without this piece here. Now, if you were curious, can you remove the pommel off this and put it down here? And the answer is no. But here's how it sounds without that extra piece connected. Oops, there we go. Honestly, after holding it with everything connected, it feels weird with the shorter version.
Cyan Crossguard. Orange Crossguard. Purple Crossguard. Red Crossguard.
And then back together once again. So again, you guys can be the judge of what you think in terms of the audio quality of the hilt, especially the fact that the audio has to travel down here. I feel like having that extra piece there, of course by default because it's designed, adds a lot of extra bass and makes the saber sound appear more louder and a little bit more fierce. But that's just my opinion. Again, you can let me know what you guys think. Now, of course, there wouldn't be a proper review unless if I had any form of nitpicks or negatives. The only real negative that I have, and this is just me personally, I'm not sure if anyone else feels the same way, is that unfortunately, regardless of me having the Profi version, by the way, is you cannot do the Kylo Ren blade style ignition. And what I mean by that is where you have the main blade that ignites followed by the side blades, because as you notice that regardless of what saber font I'm on, the everything comes on at the same time. There's no delayed reaction with the side blades and whatnot, and that's because of how everything is wired through Ultimate Works, is that this does not support the Kylo Ren style specifically, which is a bit sad. I did try it, by the way. I tried all the config options and all that. The only thing that the config option is going to do if you add side blades is it's only going to affect the LED on your chassis. So if you have the delayed reaction, you'll have a delayed reaction on that LED on the chassis, and that is it. So right now my config is specifically set up as a single blade option because that is pretty much how it is wired into, and that's pretty much it. And the only other thing really, this is more of a not a negative, this is a little nitpick if you will, just a little minor thing, is that I kind of wish there was a like a cover tech wheel or something, just because, you know, I like to be able to wear my saber on the belts, and you know me, of course with my recent trip to Disney, I had to carry the hilt in my hand. I could have tossed it in the bag, but I didn't want it to get, you know, messed up with all the stuff that I was tossing into the bag as well. But pretty much had to carry it the entire time. There's no way for me to clip it onto a belt, which would have been nice and a little bit more convenient, but again, that's just a slight little nitpick. That's pretty much about it. But other than that, like I said, it is a very fun hilt. I've had a great time with this, and a lot of people who saw it at the park and got hands-on were also excited to check it out too. But let me know what you guys think about this lightsaber in the comment section down below. And until then, if you have any questions, again, let me know. And as always, you guys have a wonderful week. And always remember, may the Force be with you.